Darkness. That's all I saw as I fluttered my eyes open. I couldn't tell if my eyes were even open or closed, nor could I tell where I was. Strangely, I couldn't remember much, except for... Suddenly, realization hit me as I remembered taking the survey, and being abducted by a demented version of Fluttershy. The element of kindness herself. I had been forced into a sick game of life or death, and every choice I made had either ended in bloodshed or punishment. Fluttershy had been ruthless throughout the entire survey, forcing her animals to do the unthinkable to people I cared for, but also didn't care for. I had broken the rules only once, and as a result of my desperation, my girlfriend who had coaxed me into taking the survey was mauled to death by Fluttershy's most deadly animal, Harry. I was given an array of questions, and with each question came either suffering for me or my girlfriend. In the end, I had done harm to myself, being forced to cut deep into my flesh with a nearby knife I had in my room. I had to spell out traitor on my arm, and cut deep enough so that the wounds would leave scars. I had attempted to use my girlfriend as a cover to save my own ass, but Fluttershy put me to the ultimate test. A test of kindness in its own twisted form. In the end, I had failed, and seeing I had enough nerve to use my girlfriend as an excuse to save myself, she was slaughtered before my eyes on webcam. Fluttershy truly had exposed me for who I really was. A lying traitor that would use someone he actually cared for as a cover to save himself. By the end of the survey, I was already broken, and it only grew worse, as I was forced to watch some demented video labeled as fate. MP4 in the video, it showed footage of my girlfriend moments before she died. She told me that she hated me, and wished only the worst death for me. I couldn't escape my own true nature, seeing she had every right to hate me, because I had gotten her killed. After the survey, I remembered being abducted into some room with close to 1,000 different screens, each being other unfortunate victims of the survey. Fluttershy had approached me, telling me that it was up to the other participants to decide my fate. I was expecting certain death, but somehow, I had been spared. Fluttershy stated that I wasn't finished, and had yet another test to take. After that, I remembered nothing except pitch black darkness. Now, I was here. Lost in what seemed like endless darkness, but strange enough, I was able to move freely. I wasn't constricted by any sort of force. I decided to feel around, and attempt to figure out where I was. Using my hands, I examined the solid surface I was sitting on. It was cold and hard. It wasn't even hard to recognize as steel. Out of my investigation, the sound of a hiss from within the small box erupted, causing me to jump and immediately panic, as I sprawled to my feet and attempted to run. As weak as I was, I couldn't run fast, but didn't get far, hitting a solid wall of what sounded like glass. Not thinking straight, I ran in the opposite direction as fast as possible, until once again I hit yet another glass wall. I couldn't run to my left or right, so I attempted to run forward, but came to the same conclusion as before, hitting a solid glass wall. In the darkness, I couldn't tell which direction I was running anymore, so I pounded against the glass wall, hoping for it to break. The glass was thick, causing my knuckles to start hurting and sweat start to form upon my forehead. I resulted to shouting for help, only to receive no response and my own voice to echo within the small enclosure. I continued to pound against the glass, even though it was clear that it wasn't going to break, as the hissing sound continued to circulate throughout the enclosure. My worst fear was that the hissing noise was some sort of poisonous gas being leached into whatever I was stuck in, slowly killing me with each passing second. The darkness made it hard to even tell if anything was happening. I couldn't see my own hand in front of my face, I couldn't determine where I was, and in that moment, I couldn't tell if my eyes were even open. I continued to panic, until I heard the sound of an intercom erupt from within the area. Experiment 1,030,771, please hold still, spoke an unknown robotic voice. I stopped pounding, looking around in the pitch black darkness. Who are you? Where are you? Come out and face me. I yelled. If you do not calm down, I will have no choice but to sedate you, replied the voice. Fuck you. I cussed, as I continued to scream and pound against the glass. Experiment is not responding. Commencing sedation process, spoke the voice. Suddenly, I felt a strong surge of electricity surge throughout my entire body, immediately causing me to collapse to the ground in severe pain from the unexpected shock. I opened my eyes to nothing but pure darkness, confused at first of where I was, until I remember what had happened. I carefully stood back up, being careful to watch my surroundings, even though my surroundings were completely invisible to me. Panic and fear started to overcome my mind, until I heard the same voice within the box again. Do you understand the consequences now? Experiment 1,030,771. Asked the robotic voice. I was in no position to argue, so I just nodded my head in response to the unknown voice. Good. Now that you are calm, allow me to explain where you are, spoke the cold voice. You are in a safe box, protected from any threats outside of the box. However, this box is a test of both mentality and sanity. All you have to do in this box is remain within for a period of 4 days, but be warned. As I had stated, this is a test of mentality and sanity, meaning this test will play tricks on your mind, human. The darkness is both a matter of wonders and mysteries, able to fool even the boldest of the bold. No human has ever survived this test, so tell me, human, are you afraid of the dark? My anger was growing massively. Was this unknown voice serious? All I had to do was remain here for 4 days. That seemed too easy, and the fact that no human had survived the test made me quiver. What if I do survive? I asked with aggravation in my voice. You will be free to go, confirmed the voice. You will be returned to wherever you came from, able to do whatever you wish to do. The reward of the survival made my confidence boost a little bit. If I survived, I could shut down this sick game of madness for good, and all I had to do was sit here for 4 days. It seemed simple enough, but even I knew that nothing about this sick game was simple. I'll survive your sick game, I claimed. You bastards will pay for all you've done. The robotic voice let out a chuckle that made me shake. We'll see, human. Let the test begin. Suddenly, the voice cut off, and I was left alone in the never-ending darkness. Just me, the dark, and my sanity. I can do this, I spoke. Little did I know that I was in way over my head. My nightmare was just beginning.